Baking is a very cherished part of our culture today. We eat baked goods on holidays as well as year-round. But what really happens when you put that baked good in the oven? Well, it's actually a complicated process in which many different components work together to produce a fluffy and tasty treat. To help us better understand the baking process, we have to go back to when it was first invented.
History of baked goods dates back to ancient times. Cakes from those ancient times are drastically different than the ones we know and love today. Cakes were mainly bread but were sweetened with honey. European bakers made fruit cakes and gingerbread because they could last for many months. The first evidence of round cakes with icing was until the mid-17th century, and many believe that the ancient Egyptians were the first bakers.
So, what do the different components in a batter or dough do? Well, sugar is an additive that makes the batter or dough sweet. Eggs go into the batter or dough because the yolk gives it creamy texture while the whites add strength. Flour is the base of the batter because it adds structure. Vanilla is another additive that enhances other flavors in the batter or dough. Lastly, baking soda and baking powder are both forms of leavening agents, and leavening agents are what makes the baked good rise while in the oven.
There are many products that come out of baking. One of them is cake pans. Cake pans are things that cakes are baked in to give them their shape. Also, without cake pans, then it would be their battered splattered across the oven. The next thing are cookie sheets. Cookie sheets are also used for cookies, but for other foods as well. Another thing is baking soda. Baking soda can be used as a cleaning product as well as a leavening agent. Lastly, the other product is ovens. Ovens are used not just for baking, but also to cook many other different types of food. Baking has greatly impacted society by providing a range of food for people to enjoy. When immigrants came to the United States, they brought their customs with them. Baking was one of those customs brought over from different countries. All countries have a different style of how they bake their food, and these styles have influenced modern baking today. This has also influenced society because it has helped America become the diverse country that it is. Baking has helped the blooming of the world into a wonderful, diverse place.
The chemistry of baking is basically a reaction between an acid and a base. Baking soda is a base called sodium bicarbonate. It is a compound, and it will react with an acid in a batter or dough, causing it to rise in the oven. Baking soda is both an acid and a base that, when added to a batter or dough, they will react together, causing it to rise. Lastly, yeast is a microorganism that, when added to a batter or dough, will cause it to rise. Leavening agents are things added to baked goods to help it rise. Flour is the major key part of a baked good. With it, it would be a structured, but without it, it'd be a sloopy mess. Which sells the most flour brands? King Arthur, Pillsbury, or Gold Medal? It's actually Gold Medal sells the most, King Arthur III and Pillsbury II.
There's many current research involving the chemistry of baking. One of those research is something called a laser oven, which will cook your food using lasers. Another thing is 3D printing in space, which will help the space station because they don't have to pack as much food and basically they can just print it, which will help us learn more about space eventually. There are many future advancements that will hopefully take place in baking. One of those things is 3D printing. This will help bakers out by not having to make all their sugar work by hand. Another thing is an intelligent oven, which is an oven that you can use to help cook your food by talking to it. There are many significant people in baking. One of those very significant people is Nicolas Leblanc because he was the first to use baking soda in actual baking. Another very significant person is Chuck Hall because he helped invent 3D printing.